All right, I will call the meeting to order at 5:33 of the International Falls Economic Development Authority for Monday, June 20th, 2016. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the International Falls EDA? All right. Next, we have the approval of the minutes from the May 16, 2016 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, question.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Yes. I vote. Financial reports.
I'll move to approve financial reports.
We have a motion to approve the financial reports. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, when is the audit report going to be out? When is the audit report going to be out generally?
Well, it needs to be out to the state auditor by June 30th. We've had some correspondence over the course of the end of last week, actually this weekend. I was gone last week, and so the auditor is waiting for one of the final GASB 45 reports before they can release the audit, and they haven't received it yet, so we've sent some correspondence to the person preparing that GASB 45 report. It would be helpful to know when the council would like to meet to get a presentation on the audit, and we need to do that sometime before the 30th, so it can be submitted to the...
We're going to have a special meeting. We're going to have a special meeting, and not only for the EDA but the city.
Yes. It could be a joint meeting where it was discussed with the auditors at the same time.
I'd also like to get the airport audit to the city council as well. Because that's $280,300 a year in operating costs, so we should be looking at that audit report as well.
Any other discussion on the report? Hearing none, question.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Vote yes. Next, we have our accounts payable. We have one account payable for $411.50, and that is for project costs on the Miggins Wetland Bank.
I'll move.
We have a motion.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none, question.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Yes. Item number 5, we have an update on the Mariner Farms project. Commissioner Jackson.
We were scheduled to meet tomorrow. However, the storm that went through did extensive damage to Bruce's property that he rents out, and he cannot make it tomorrow. He's going to be cleaning up property, so he said that we would meet in July. So.
Anything else? No. Okay. All right, item number 6, the Great Northern Transmission Line purchase easement. Should be in your packet.
Approval of the Great Northern Transmission Line option to purchase easement.
Motion?
I'll second.
In a second. Discussion. Administrator Anderson?
As working with Josh from the Great Northern Transmission Line about this, and what we wanted to try and do is clarify with the Board of Water and Soil Resources, and I haven't had an opportunity to do that directly, and I don't know if the city attorney has as well, but we want to just make sure that this encumbrance of the wetland conservation easement on this property won't create any problems over here. The transmission line people do not think that it'll be a problem, and I know that there's a motion on the floor to approve it. I still want to verify with the Board of Soil and Water Resources that this is something that would be handled administratively, and there wouldn't be anything that would in any way interfere with what we might have committed as part of adopting that conservation easement on this property. So, and I just haven't had an opportunity because of my absence last week to follow up with the Board of Water and Soil Resources, and I'll try and do that sometime tomorrow.
Yes.
I could make a suggestion. I would recommend that as Bowser be a signator to any document that we sign in this regard, because clearing of trees, I mean, what's being proposed violates the terms of our conservation easement. We're obligated to Bowser, to do that. I think to protect ourselves, I think they ought to be directing this to Bowser first. I don't know it's appropriate for the administrator myself to be expending hours of time to do their work, and notified them that we've got this conservation easement, and my suggestion is that subject to the approval of Bowser, but I think Bowser should sign off on it first before it comes back to us to sign. That way, for the document, there can never be any questions down the road that, well, gee, we had Bowser's, we talked to them, they said it was okay. I think they need to sign off on it so that there's never any question about it.
Amending your motion?
I would add to the motion that we request the Board of Soil and Water Conservation to be a option to purchase the.
On the second, do you accept that?
Yes.
That's required, it's not before we go further.
That satisfied your concerns on that?
Yes, I think that's, that way we can just refer him to Bowser, and once Bowser signs off on it, there'd be no reason for us to object and not cooperate, but we don't want to put ourselves in violation of that conservation easement.
Work in partnership with Bowser. I mean, I think that very definitely the power line is needed. It's going to be a benefit to the northeastern Minnesota, to Couchiching County, and certainly taking down a few trees and clearing a little right-of-way isn't going to be the worst thing in the world.
I would expect Bowser to approve it and go along with it, but
They're the same wetlands people, right?
And there's a lot of wetlands that this is going through.
Yes, indeed.
And they're going to be clearing 200 foot right away.
Better not assume anything.
Also, there's a 100-foot buffer from the existing transmission line also. So 300 feet.
Question. Hearing none, question.
Aye.
I'll vote yes.
Any other business? Is your next item.
How did you know I lost my agenda?
And I do have some. I have a question.
Okay, any other business?
Speaking of, how's the annexation of the multimodal coming? Where are we at?
Mr. President,
Please.
we at the last council meeting, I think, approved that agreement to waive special assessments to Boise for any future road improvements that might occur on the Moonlight Rock Road. I sent that over, I hand carried it over to Darwin Jocelyn's office, and he reviewed it and sent an email back to me last week indicating that they would like the city to waive or freeze the taxes on the property, and I don't know of any way that that can be done. Again, I was gone all last week, and I forwarded the email message to the city attorney, and we haven't had an opportunity to speak, but I don't know any way that that can be done. And I did, over half a year ago, I calculated what the increase in taxes may be on that property, and it was about $100 or $120. if it would annexed into the city, and we have a higher tax rate than the county does, so there'd be a higher property tax for it. And I need to communicate that back with them, but today's my first day back, and I have that conversation with them to see what.
We're talking about, I mean, the city tax rate is what is it? God, I used to know. What is the county, about half of ours? So it's going to add another 150% or something, right?
That's approximately correct.
$180. $180.
It's not taxed significantly high because it's the only real improvement on the property is the rail line and then the Moonlight Rock Road, which is just an access road.
That satisfy your curiosity?
I guess, so that's deep. No, it doesn't, as a matter of fact, because we've been waiting for years, right, well, for the annexation. So this is another holdup. We got to go back now and discuss this. After that, any other holdups? So we may have this done possibly by the end of the year?
Hopefully.
What?
Well, I thought he was going to say hopefully as well.
I mean,
Any other business?
Mr. President.
Please.
I was just going to let you know that there is a EDA Advisory Board meeting tomorrow morning at 7:15. And one of the items that we put on the agenda for the advisory board is to change their meeting date, second Tuesday of the month, so that if they have some business or things that they consider, they could review that and make recommendations and submit those to the EDA prior to your meeting, instead of meeting after you guys. So that's a change that we're going to suggest, but of course we want to see with the members to make sure that that works with their calendar. The other thing I wanted to pass on is I did receive an email message Friday or this weekend that the chair, Joanne Dornecker, resigned because of her obligations at work, she indicated. So resigned from the position, and we'll have a conversation about that with the other members tomorrow.
No other business, I will adjourn.